Hi boys and girls, Brucey here with a little kind of tip video really about the that's the old unit I had, the Helix, the Line 6 Helix LT. And what some people are confusing what they're hearing when they get the unit back. And particularly if you're playing it through studio monitors like these or through a full range monitor system, such as a PA system. It's very crucial to understand the difference between a amp in a room and the sound of an amp in the room being mic'd up. If you've been playing kind of normal amplifiers, valve amplifiers, whatever amplifiers, and you've got that amplifier in the room with you, you're having a very visceral experience with the amplifier and the speaker and your ears. Yeah, that is the sound perhaps that you are used to. And when you get a modeler, for example, what that is modeling is the experience of a amplifier and a speaker, and the key thing here is a microphone. So the sound you hear coming through these speakers in a studio or through your full range monitor, I'm pointing up there because mine's up there, you can't see it, is that you are hearing the sound of an amp mic'd up in a room, and that's very different, yeah? Because you're throwing into that another variable, which is the microphone choice, yeah? And the fact that you are, it would be as if you're in a studio and you're not listening to the amp in the room. You're not getting that experience of the interaction with the speakers and the way it makes you feel, for one thing, but also your ears aren't capturing the full dynamics. That it's relying on the microphone. So microphone choice hasn't anything. It'd be really interesting if you could have a model of your ear, an impulse response of your ear that you could put in to this cabinet that you could then add into the end of the chain instead of a microphone, and you might start to feel very differently about modeling. So when you are, you know, thinking about modeling, thinking, oh, it's not as good or it's different. It is different, there's no denying that. But it's modeling a different experience a lot of the time. That is why if you play it like as this is now, it's straight into a I'm using a separate power amplifier and a separate amp cab, a 1x12 cab with a vintage 30 in it. It's a very different sound, and I think it sounds awesome. And I'll put a bit of dirt in. Let's go to dirty time. Now what you're hearing here in YouTube world is the sound of it being mic'd up. So yeah, it's going to sound different than the sound that I am actually hearing in here. And that is the crucial difference. What you hear in YouTube is slightly different than what I'm hearing here. The microphone is doing the best job, and it's an SM57 to capture that sound. And if you put in an SM57 model into your impulse response when you're setting up the unit, then this is the sound you're going to hear that's coming out of your speakers. So just bear that in mind. This is not a criticism, it's just one of the things that sometimes people forget when you're dealing with modeling, is what you're actually hearing, you know, and that's where sometimes a lot of the criticism comes from, is you know, you're not completely sure of what you're hearing, or you kind of, we forget what we're hearing. You think, oh, it doesn't sound like an amp in a room. It's because it's sounding like an amp in a room mic'd up. Hope you found that useful. I will catch you later.